Denise, can you hear me? Can you hear now? Now, can you hear me? Cool, thank you. Denise is there.
Denise is there. What's up? What's going on? Anything you want to do today? Okay. I was mentioning earlier, did anybody see the moon this morning? It was huge, right? It was really cool. It had a cool color to it. When I left the beach, it was like, it was, it was nice. It was sitting there. It was huge. You could see everything. And then when I got closer, like, I don't know what town it is before the expressway turns into 42 or whatever, but the moon there was ginormous. It was sitting right over the trees, and it was so huge. So like the full moon is filled with soma, right? And soma is an elixir that the gods drink to stay immortal. They say it drips from the full moon, like it's so full, right? It can't hold anymore, and it's dripping, and they're just sucking that up, right? So soma downstairs is half that story, and half soma is like the center of a cell. So like that was the play kind of on the word soma. I think soma's in some other Lord of the Rings or some shit. Was it in? It's something about soma, right? And they talk about that.
That's the name of the drug
Yeah, yeah.
they take to forget they exist.
Oh, is that what it's supposed to be? Almost like mind
Yeah, it's
clearing or numbing or
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think ours is a little cooler, right? Our story's a little bit better. That's it. So we'll play a little bit. Think of that today. There's a lot of energy on these full moons, right? So those are the days that we're going to try to use that energy, right? So take a nice seat, sit up tall. You know, now that we have lights, right? And we don't need this all the time. Like, you know, it's easy to forget about how important these days were in the past. Right? That light was valuable. The hunter's moon, right? As like the light, those big super moons, the power from the tides, right? The tides are real high right now. But then the flip side of that is they go real low. They go to what's called a minus tide. So there's that, both sides, right? Huge changes. And we're going to play in that energy. That's probably my favorite thing when I think about like the essence or like the deep side of surfing more than me just going to have fun is you're playing, right, in the earth's energy. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to bask in that light. We're going to try to drink and absorb that soma. Here with our breath, from listening to yourself breathe, through slowing down the beginning of the inhale and pushing more on end of the exhale, to counting out the breath, all the way to Ujjayi. Where is the game today that you're going to play? And remember, the game can change. You could start at listening to your breath, and you could work yourself up to Ujjayi. Or some of you are going to be in tune with Ujjayi to go right there in a half of a breath. Remember, the game is the same, but different. As the breath turns to movement, let the inhale lift the arms. And play here. As the hands come together, let the thumbs touch. And then the pinkies, the pointer fingers, the ring fingers, the middle fingers. As the petals of the lotus close. And one time together to initiate our practice. Together, the sound of Om. All together. Deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. Inhale, lift the head, open the eyes, release the hands. If you're not sure, the idea is that when you bring your hands together, you would go thumbs, pinky, pointer, ring, middle. And it's like the petals of the lotus closing, right? Sometimes this, right? Open lotus. All right, let's spin around. What was the request? Just twists. Okay. Let's start, what was it, something else? No. Let's start out puppy dog. So puppy dog, our hips are on top of our knees as compared to this, right? Sometimes I've seen this. I like to do this when that's a little more neutral, a little more kind of like downward dog. It's just not as weight bearing. So this way we can start to tune up some of this stuff. So the other common tendency is going to be that the belly is going to fall to the floor like this. And see, that's not where we want to be right now. We want to pull the belly in and pull the shutters closed. And it should feel like your chest almost lifted away from the mat for this moment. Now keep hugging the hands in. Keep your forearms lifting up. Keep your inner biceps lifting up. Slide your forehead off the mat so you're activating those muscles in the neck and in the upper back. Now as you keep those inner biceps lifting up, remember when you pulled your belly in and your shutters closed, your chest like lifted up from the mat. Now keep that, but soften your chest down towards the mat. And that's when you feel that nice stretch come up the arms, through the side bodies, those lats. One more breath. And as you look forward, TP the fingers on the right hand, thread the left hand underneath for the twist. A twist I do a lot with y'all in the beginning when we're doing twists. And the reason is because there's a strong foundation here. So you always hear me say that twists happen above the waist. So notice if your left hip is dropping right now, that's below the waist. So you want to push into your left knee and you want to build that energy up into the hip. Then you want to twist in that middle upper back. Inhale, come back to center. Soften down the middle. Pull the belly in. Pull the shutters closed. Yep. Then when you're ready, look forward. TP the fingers on the left hand. You're just making some space. And then thread that right hand underneath. And now you got to think about that right hip. Some of us, because we're a little tight here in the twist, the hip might actually shift over to the left. So you might have to shift it back to the right. Then push down, then build it up. Lock it into that hip. And then let those big twists happen in that middle upper back and the thoracic spine. Inhale, come back to center. Soften down the middle. Next inhale, come up, all fours, hands and knees. Low mountain, so hands are an inch or two in front of your shoulders, knees an inch or two behind your hips. Knees are hips width apart, at least, right? Maybe even just outer hips if we want a little more base. Then start to claw the floor, so you're hugging those fingertips and those knuckle pads in, and hug the forearms into the midline, and squeeze the biceps. Now, wrists and elbow joints nice and solid. Shoulders getting nice and rooted. Right? Feeling that they can hold that arm in place. Slide the throat back. Charge the legs, so you're sweeping the heels out, you're hugging the shins in, you're pulling your heels to your butt. Back to belly, back to shudders, and now breathe, low mountain. And when you're ready, work your cat-cow. Inhale, arch the back, lift the sit bones, reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, round the back, look to your belly, lengthen those sit bones towards your heels. Your inhale, arch. Your exhale, round. Work with your breath. Feel on that inhale, which is kind of like the back bend, right? The heads of the arm bones are going to root. We talk about that in most of our back bends. Sit bones are going to blossom. And then on the exhale, as we're looking to our belly, we're in the neck, we're in the upper back. As we lengthen sit bones to heels, we're in that low back, that lumbar. One more, and then come to a neutral position, so find that flat back, that low mountain again. I tell you all the time, I do not ask you to find this position because it's easy. This position is hard. What usually happens is this. And this isn't it, right? It should be way up here. So lock that in. Start to feel those hamstrings engaging to pull the sit bones down. Feel the belly drawing in to support that lumbar spine. And now breathe. Step back to plank. See if you can hold everything that you just worked for. So you can see I'm reaching out of my heels right now. My feet aren't like this, straight up and down, and they're definitely not like this. Here, dorsiflexion. Now lift your hips, come to downward dog. In first dog, you could bend the knees. You always hear me say, like, soften the dog. Maybe you pedal. Maybe you swivel, right? Whatever feels good. If it feels good to straighten your legs, go for it, right? But remember, we got to engage muscles before we stretch them. So the engagement in the hamstrings is pulling your heels to your butt and your butt to your heels. Now, just like we did before in that puppy dog, we're hugging our hands in. We're keeping the forearms and the inner biceps lifting up. And now, instead of soften our chest to the mat, we're going to soften our chest back towards our toenails or towards our shins. And there's that nice opener. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. Your inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. Let's do 5 of these. Just starting to move a little bit here. Moving with the breath, getting a little more dynamic. This is my 5th one. We're going to meet back in downward dog. So take your time. Keep your hands down. Swivel to the outside of the right foot, the inside of the left. Feel that left side body open up. Inhale, come back to center. Pause. Then swivel to the outside of the left, inside of the right. Feel that right side body. Keep pushing back like chest towards toenails. Inhale, come back to center. Next inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take those 3 nice breaths. You can stay low. You can come up a little higher, whatever your flavor is, but shoulders back and down. Then after your 3 breaths, lower the chest. Push up through plank. And back to downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. That's it. Knee on top of the ankle, in line with the second toe. Back heel is going to try to fall in, so sweep it out so it points straight up to the sky. As we push down, as we hug in, we start to pull the power. We're pulling it from your feet up your legs. We're trying to root it up into the hips. We're pulling up through the core. And then we express it. We reach the heel back, the front knee forward, reaching up and out of the crown of the head. As you inhale, come up, Virabhadrasana 1. Crescent. Now we square that left hip forward by thinking like the left side of your ribs are pulling towards its obliques. We're pulling towards the adductors. That's the oblique sling. Now reach up. Yep, maybe curl back that little bit. And then inhale, come up, take that left hand, go all the way across the body to the outside, so the arms on the outside of the thigh. Let that left hand meet, right hand meet. Now push your hands together. Keep the power in the legs. When you push your hands together, you're going to feel that energy run through the upper body. Now start to rotate open. One more breath. Inhale, come back to warrior one. Take that one breath. Then exhale the hands down. Step back. Downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Work on your breath, not my voice. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take those 3 breaths. Keep dragging your hands back to keep pulling your belly forward. Then after your 3 breaths, back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. This is the common tendency to put all your weight into your arms here, right? You should be able to pick up your hands at any moment, but not your feet, right? So keep pushing down into your legs. Just have your hands like to connect. That's why I tend to do this with my hands. This is just my flavor because I want to do this. And I know if I put my hands like this, I'm going to do that. So I don't put the weight into it. I just go fingers. Right? That's my flavor. That's what keeps my body, right, going to the path that I want it to follow. Find what you need to do. Now here we go. We're pushing down. We're hugging in. And that inhale comes up nice and slow. Remember the 2 or 3 seconds for your breath? That's how long it takes to come up. Now keep pulling that belly button in, and the thigh, and that thigh stretch gets better, the front of that right thigh. The shudders gets tall. Now we curl back. One more breath. Now inhale, come up. You're going to take that right hand. You got to go all the way across your body. Yeah, so we open up the side bodies. Bring the outside of that right arm to the outside of your thigh. Push your hands together. Yep, start to rotate open. Yes, use the power to then find the freedom. One more breath. Now inhale, come back to that warrior one. And then exhale the hands down. Nice, y'all. Keep it slow. Step back, downward dog. When you are ready, inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. 3 nice breaths. And then when you're ready, back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Right hand to the outside of left calf. Take that downward dog with a twist. Maybe even peek underneath that left arm. Inhale, come back to center. Place the hand down. Now push that right hand down and forward. Then take the left hand to the outside of the shin or the calf and keep pushing that right hand down and forward. It's going to keep the weight going back. So your one arm isn't just holding you up. You got your legs to hold you up. Inhale, unwind. Look forward, bend your knees. Step or jump between your hands. Swing your arms up. Maybe curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands out to the side. Take a big breath. Then take the twist. Try to keep that right shoulder blade from just pinching the midline and rotate through the spine. Inhale, come back to center. Get tall, then take the twist. See, I want to counter twist my hips. So as your upper body's twisting to the left, your hips twist to the right. They can't go with you. Remember, the twists happen above the waist. Inhale, come back to center. Next inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Keep that weight balanced in the feet. Front to back is heel to the ball of your foot. Inner and outer edges
or side to side as inner and outer edge. So keep the arches lifting up. You're probably going to have to bring weight to the outer edge of the foot. That's pretty common for most of us. Then as you look forward, keep those legs fired. So you're sweeping heels out, you're hugging shins in, you're pulling kneecaps to your waist, you're pulling heels to butt to heels. And now as the spine gets long, we fold even deeper into the pose. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, big reach. Sit back chair pose. Remember, butt's got to go back first. Yep, now lift those arms up, pull those shutters closed. Then take your left hand and go all the way across to the outside of the thigh. Then the right hand meets. Keep sitting back. If you want to extend, you're taking the outside of that left hand to the outside of the right foot, and the left hand reaches up to the sky, right hand to the sky. Inhale, come back. Chair, sit back deep. You know we're going for the whole thing. Now right, go across. Yep, push that left hand into the right. Yep, now start to twist open. Then the outside of the right hand goes to the floor. Maybe the left hand goes to the sky. Keep pushing that left knee out into that right arm. Inhale, come back to chair. It's getting long here. Sit back deep. Yep, stay with it. Push down, rise up. Nice, y'all. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Awesome. Right, we don't get wrapped up in the, oh, this is easy, this is hard. We just do, right? This is just part of our practice. We know some moments are going to be more challenging than others. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Right hand to the outside of that left shin or calf. Now, on your left hand, if you were at your fingertips, maybe you're at your block, right, for a little more space. Maybe some of you, hand is on the hip. Maybe some of you, we're going to take the arm up to the sky again. But be careful not to lean back too far here, just like you don't want to lean too far forward. Inhale, come back to center, soften down the middle, then swap the hands. Find the balance in the feet first. Find the engagement through the legs. Then start to work the twist a little bit deeper. And then if you want to go all the way, maybe the arm starts to reach up to the sky. Maybe you even start to look up that right arm. Inhale, come back to center. Next inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Sit back as the knees bend. Swing the arms up. Take a big reach. And draw that belly in. Lengthen those sit bones down to protect that low back. Maybe curl back. Feel that nice peel come up through the belly, abdominal wall, up through your chest, your neck, your arms, your fingers. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands in front. Right leg forward, left leg back, triangle. Balance beam, right? So front heel's in line with the back arch. Left thigh back. So like you're facing the wall with the window and the door. Notice if the left hip comes forward and the left thigh, what are you doing? You're facing like the corner where the walls are meeting at the front of the room. We don't want that. Face the side. Now get nice and tall here. Let those side bodies start to peel open. Yep, when you're ready, hinge at the right side of the hip. Bring the hand down to the block or the floor. Push down into that big toe mound on the right foot. Because in this instance, we want to roll to the outer edge of the foot. So we got to push that big toe mound down. Now keep that right side body opening, spin that right shoulder back. Then maybe start to look up. And then breathe. One more breath. Then inhale comes up nice and tall. Bend into that lead knee, warrior two, elbow to thigh. Sweep the bicep up along the cheek, extended side angle. It's the full. I did want to, but I forgot on Half Moon the other day. And that one was beautiful. I was out surfing that day, and I could not stop staring at how perfect the Half Moon was. It was wild, beautiful. One more breath. Inhale, come up to that warrior two. Then straighten that front leg, step forward. Awesome. Let's try side two.
one of the main things I notice now that I just don't live in town anymore is that the sky is big. I see a lot of stuff, right? Like that I just used to miss. All right, get nice and tall here. And then when you're ready, hinge the left side of the hip. And now breathe. Notice how the side crescent is trying to happen, right? Like that left side body wants to crunch like this. You got to open it up. Yeah, maybe by engaging that right side to open the left. And then we just play with the balance by maybe looking up and then push into that front foot and come up tall. Yep, and then bend into the lead knee, warrior two. Then bring the elbow to the thigh. When you sweep that bicep up along the cheek, make sure that arm's rooted in the socket. Yep, then maybe the hand goes down to the block or the floor if you want to extend the pose. And then pull the belly and the shutters in to get the spine to lengthen so then you can rotate open. Keep that left knee widening out so it tracks your second toe, the one next to your big toe. One more breath. And then push into that front heel. Come up tall into that warrior two. Then push the front leg straight. Then step forward. Nice, y'all. Let the thumbs just catch your heart. Let your eyes close. Take a couple breaths here. Full breath in, complete breath out. Let your thumbs flick your heart out in front of you. Mountain pose. So it's super strong posture here. We're going to try to find the power here in mountain pose. The freedom is going to be like standing here with our eyes closed, turning to our breath. Then gently open the eyes, release the hands, sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up. Maybe curl back into that. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Play with holding the pose a little more static, or play with it being a little more dynamic or active. Dynamic or active is on the inhale, you look forward, you recharge your legs, you redraw your spine, and on the exhale, you fold. And you do that again. You inhale, look forward, and then exhale, you fold. Yep. And you'll notice that you just keep moving the pose a little bit further. Some of you, maybe you'll be able to lower the blocks, or you get your hands to touch the floor. Or some of you are going to bring your palms flat. Whatever you need to practice on, where you need to be. One more breath. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog. Move through your vinyasa 3 times. So flow a little bit here. Go slow, stay with your breath. Nice pace, y'all. It should feel slow, right? Because we're not running or jogging. Our breath is still somewhat lower here. Heart rate still lower compared to jogging or running. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through. Lunge. Exhale, lower the back knee. Walk your right foot out to the edge of your mat and turn your toes open that little bit. Twisted monkey. Bend your left knee. Reach back with your right hand. Grab your ankle, your foot, or your strap. Walk your left hand forward so that your thumb's in line with your big toe and have it to the edge of your mat. Now turn, see how the shoulder wants to go this way? I can't let that happen. I got to go this way. Now the shoulder's rooted back. I can lean into it. Yeah. Now drag the back knee forward and hold that. Pull the front heel back. Now keep reaching forward out of the crown of your head to open that right side of the chest to the sky. Now draw the heel to the sit bone and work that quad stretch even deeper. Don't let your ear on the left side fall to the floor. Keep your right ear lifting up to the sky so this doesn't happen where your head hangs. Yep. and twist a little bit deeper and draw that heel even a little bit further. One more breath. Then watch the boing as you release. Inhale, come back to center, wiggle the foot back in, lift the back knee, downward dog. Move through one vinyasa. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Exhale, lower the back knee. This time, walk your left foot out to the edge of your mat. Turning the toes open just makes it a little more accessible. Then bend the knee. If you have to, shift your weight back this way to grab your ankle, your foot, or your strap. I do this every time. Then I bend back into it. Then take your right hand forward so the thumb's in line with the big toe and it's to the edge of your mat. Yep. Then start to charge the legs, charge the upper trunk, and twist open. Now start to draw the heel towards the sit bone. Yeah, this is a quad stretch that's in a twist, right? So we got to get to that twist first. Then we'll start drawing that heel in a little bit further. And then we'll play between the two, working the twist even a little bit deeper. Stay with belly and shutters to do that. And then drawing the heel even a little closer. Couple more breaths here. This time, don't let that right ear fall to the sky, left to the ceiling. Then watch the boing as you release. Inhale, come back to center. Lift that back knee, downward dog. Work through one vinyasa. Exhale, lower your knees. Sit back on your heels, grab a drink. We're going to meet in hero's pose, so take your time. So one way to get your butt closer to the floor is on your way down, take your thumbs and you're going to put them in the middle of your calf. There's two heads to this calf muscle, right? There's an inside and an outside. You want to push the outside away. Then you can sit back. When you get that lateral head out of the way, it's going to do a couple things. One, it's out of the way, so it's going to let you get a little bit deeper. And two, see how it creates a little internal rotation for me, right? It kind of locks me in here. I want that. Now flick your toenails into the floor and hug your shins in. So see, this is me bearing just dead weight down, and I don't want that. When I hug in, now all of a sudden there's this is controllable, right? I'm not just bearing down into my joints. If you need to, set yourself up a little better because we're going to work a little twist out of this. So lift up or engage. Then take your left hand behind you and your right hand goes to the outside of your thigh. Then sit up tall and twist to the left. Spin that left shoulder back. If you ever, in any of your twists, if you have any neck issues, your head stays in line with your chest. If you want to start to peek over the shoulder a little bit, and that feels comfortable for you, go for it. Inhale, come back to center. Soften down the middle. Right hand goes behind. Left hand to the outside of the thigh. Sit up tall, then take the twist. But keep those toenails flicking down, those shins hugging in. Feel that energy through the legs. Keep that connection through the core and twist even a little bit deeper. And then inhale, come back to center. Next inhale, come up. Exhale, hands down, all fours. Just reach the one leg back, open up the knee and the hip. Belly's in, shutters closed. And lower it down, swap into side two. And lower it down. Spin around to a seated position. Bend your right leg, bring your left leg into the crease of your elbow, or you're going to take your Left hand underneath your calf and your right to your ankle. Sit up nice and tall here. Push your foot into your arm, like the big toe mount, but try to pull the pinky toe back. So instead of the foot being sickled like this, it's more neutral like Tadasana. And as the name implies, baby cradle, you can go side to side with the leg, but keep sitting up tall. We played with this over the past few weeks, Asta Vakrasana. This is a twisting arm balance, so we could work with this today. So if you want to stay here, stay here. We're opening up the back of the hip and down the back of the leg, nice opener. If you're going to go into the arm balance, you're going to lift your left leg up, you take it high on your arm, and you're going to squeeze your arm between your leg. You're going to place your hands down just like downward dog. You're going to take your right ankle over your left, and then your feet are going to go to the outside of your left hand. I always see this on the right arm. You got to bend this elbow. Yep, bend them both. As you lower your chest to the floor, squeeze your thighs together. Asta Vakrasana. Keep that right shoulder from falling forward, so keep working it back here. Yep. And then when you're ready, swap side two. Use that force feedback. So like you're hugging in this way, kind of like you're holding a baby, right? Baby's cradle. When you do this action, you should be able to like lift yourself up from there. Yeah, you're using that force feedback. It's not that you're trying to pull yourself this way, it's that you're using this to get this to lift. Yep, that little side to side if that feels good. And then Asta Vakrasana is going to lift that right leg up. You're going to take your right arm underneath. You're going to squeeze your arm between your leg. You're going to take your left foot over your right. Then you're going to bring your feet to the outside of your right hand. Then you're going to bend both elbows. As you squeeze your thighs together, your chest comes towards the floor. Take that left shoulder back. And then just keep squeezing your legs. I'm active all the way from my toes, up through my feet, my legs, my upper body. And the idea in arm balances is once you get the balance, the pose gets easier, right? It's not like it's an easy pose, so let's not blow smoke up our own asses, right? It's a hard pose. It's challenging. You're trying to hold your weight up with your arms. There's a reason that your legs are this size and your arms are this size, right? Because these are meant to hold you up all day. But if you get these and you get some friends in the game, right, we can usually make it happen. So that's kind of the play. Okay, keep working at it. Yep. See how the legs just squeeze, like we're reaching our legs towards those brick walls. And it just creates like a girder, right? The girder locks in, and then the floor is built, right? And you build something on top of it, build something on top of it. Sometimes we unwind the leg and we go through, right? And all this other shit that we play with. That's just to see where you need to move the edge to. But if this was your first time and you went for this today, right? Success, right? You're further than you were last time. Don't always think of the last part of the pose. Think about what it's going to take to get there. While we're here, now I want to hit that twisted pigeon. So spin around, all fours. We don't hit that one that often. Today we got a bunch of twisting, so this pigeon, and we opened up the back of the hip, so this might be a little more accessible for some of us. While we're here, turn the hands out. Belly's in, shutters are closed. Get that nice opener up the arms and the chest. Feel free to step back the plank if you want. Your hands can come together. And then you can step back the plank if you want to be here. Yov, if you want to hit a Mayurasana, feel free. If you want to hit a Mayurasana, feel free. Yeah, Yov, go ahead. Come on, here it goes. All right? Keep looking forward. Yes. And then unwind. Yeah. So that one definitely is, I do that with y'all when we do core. right? I tend to offer that like arm balance. But the idea with that is you got to go forward. Because if I go back, is my wrist crease opening or closing? It's closing, right? So we know we can't go this way anymore. So what way do I have to go to get it to open? I got to go this way. See which way my arm now looks? Right here, it looks like I'm just pinching my wrist, but I got to go this way. And that's where the arm balance is, right? So it should feel open in your hand and your wrist, not like closing. If it's feeling like it's closing, just because you didn't go far enough forward. And that happens at first, right? You got to figure out where the balance is. All right, let's go all fours, hands and knees, step back to plank, and then downward dog. And then work through one vinyasa when you're ready. And from downward dog, reach the right leg straight back, step it through, pigeon. Now, you all know if you want to do supine pigeon, you're always welcome to. You'd be on your back, okay? If you're going to do this version, right knee's nice and wide to the right edge of the mat, left knee's in line with your hip. Just like we did before, push the big toe mound out and pull the pinky toe side back. So work the foot and the ankle, and then keep hugging in. Pelvic floor pulls up like from your junk. Pull your belly in, pull your shutters closed. Keep your head and your throat back. And then if you want to stay up here in the prep, stay here. If you want to go for the fold, go for the fold. Nice opener down the back of the leg and the back of the hip there. Last week we went a little further where if you want to take the hand to the foot, and then you hug in, you lift that front knee up, move it back an inch or two, you hug back in, and lift the back knee up and move it back an inch or two. You can go further in the pose, right? So you extend the pose a little bit more. Now, this twist goes against the oblique sling a little bit, so it's challenging, okay? Normally, we're going to twist to the lead leg. That's human movement. But here, the challenge is the opposite way. So you're going to come up halfway if you want to do the twist. You can stay in pigeon if you want to stay there, no problem. Now you're going to take your right hand and you got to go all the way across your body. So you got to open up the side body. Now I want to bring my elbow either into the sole of my foot or in front of my foot, right? Whatever your flavor is. Now push your hands together and then start to open, work the twist by taking that left shoulder back. But don't lose that right hip. Don't lose the back hip by pulling the knee forward. One more breath. And then inhale, control it as you unwind. Nice, y'all. Take a breath. Lift the hips. Unwind that right leg. Reach it back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. And then exhale, lower it down. Take a breath. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, pigeon. So this time, left knee's nice and wide, left edge of your mat. Right knee's in line with the hip. When you're ready, hug in. Start to draw everything up. And if you want to go for the fold, go for the fold. If you want to stay up here in the prep, stay in the prep. As you fold, keep your head and your throat sliding back and your chest coming down first. And then if you want to stay here, stay here. If you're going to go with the twist, inhale, come up. Now you're going to take your left hand, go all the way across. See how this is opening up? That's what I want. Now I can twist into it because I have space. Elbow to the sole of the foot or in front of the foot. Push the hands down and fire those hips up. Then keep looking forward out in front of you. Now start to twist open a little bit deeper. Power in the foundation, freedom in the twist. One more breath. Inhale, come back to center. Place the hands down, take a breath. Lift the hips, unwind that left leg. Reach it back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Exhale, lower it down.
Bring your feet together, walk your hands back. Come to a squat position. You can if Malasana is more comfortable. I'm going to take you all into Twisted Crow, but if you want to work Malasana instead of Twisted Crow, you could be here, okay? If you're going to work the arm balance, we're going to work from here. If you want to work balance, you could be here too, right? This is challenging, just holding balance. All right, now Twisted Crow, we want to inhale, get nice and tall. We're going to twist to the right, and we're going to bring our hands down to the mat, just like they'd be in Downward Dog, no different. But start with your arm against your leg. Now take your knees and turn them out to the left and bend your left elbow. So now your knees are going to be higher than your elbow. We want them there. Now come up to your tiptoes and bend both elbows as the weight comes forward. You're going to wedge the outside of the right thigh on the back of that left arm. Yeah. And then we link some stuff out of there. Ekapada Kunyasana 1, Dvipada's legs together, right? Some of those we've done. Today I'm just kind of holding these one poses for y'all so you can kind of see a little bit further on how I'm holding everything. But if you want to link them up, feel free. All right, let's meet back in the middle, neutral. All right, here we go. Inhale, come up. Twist. See when I put my hands down? This is exactly how they'd be for Downward Dog. This is exactly my hand placement. This is where I want to be for my Twisted Crow. Just same place. Now I turn my knees to the brick wall so I could bend my elbow, my right elbow, to get my knee up above it. Then I come up to my tiptoes. I bend my elbows like chaturanga. And then I wedge the outside of that left thigh in the back of that right arm. Yep. Nice, y'all. Yeah, Jai, keep working that. Keep kicking that bottom leg forward. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Nice, y'all. All right, grab your mats. Find a spot on the wall quickly. We'll go upside down. You know, if you're at home and you don't have the wall to kick up on, you can always lay on your back. Knees are bent. Interlace your hands behind your thigh as you reach the heel to the sky. Take a bunch of breaths. We could swap. If you're at home or in the studio, it's not your day to invert. You're always welcome to go legs up the wall or do a pose that feels good to you. I'll talk everyone through Downward Dog and L pose, but you're more than welcome to do your handstand, your headstand, your tripods, your pinches. Your headstand down to Twisted Crow. Okay, that could be a pose that some of y'all will work since we worked the Twisted Crow today. So if you want to stick with me, let's go all fours, hands and knees, feet are touching the wall. If you want to go on your own, whenever you're ready. All right, with me, all fours, hands and knees, take a couple breaths and start to charge it up. So we got that low mountain. When you're ready, lift the knees and the hips. So you're in like a short Downward Dog. Then step one foot up the wall, then the other. See you later. With your knees bent, you'll be in Downward Dog inverted. With your legs straight, you'll be in L pose. Nice, y'all. Stay with your breath, right? Keep breathing. One of the common tendencies, we hold our breath. So don't let that take over, because then there's no fuel. Keep breathing. Always, right? That's a challenge no matter what. I mean, but like, you got to put that shit in context, right? You're like, okay, I'm upside down in headstand. Then I'm going to try to come down. I'm going to go into flexion, deep flexion, with a twist, right? That's a lot of shit. I'll see you later. But that's like part of setting yourself up for success, right? Being like in reality, like, yeah, I'm about to go all the way to the edge, right? This shit is not easy, but I'm gonna take a breath. I'm gonna set a foundation. I'm gonna engage, right? I'm gonna express the best that I can in the moment. There's no like wrong to your, well, there is misalignments, right? But wherever you want to express the pose, that's just where you want to express the pose. Some days I don't express to where I've gone other days, right? Some days I want to back up a little bit. And I want to work maybe the foundation more. Yeah, keep going, yes. Some days I want to go a little further. I want to really challenge myself, right? It just depends what the moment's asking. And remember, the moment changes with every breath. So about another like 30 seconds or so. If you're going to kick up, go for it. Otherwise, we're going to meet on our backs, okay, on our backs. Need a little more coffee there? I went with the Sencha. I don't drink coffee, but that little shot of Sencha. Green tea. All right, let's go on our backs. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor. I'll talk you through 2 back bends. As always, supported bridge. You could have the block underneath the sacrum. Go for it. You want to work bridge and wheel. I'm going to talk you into those. So we start with our knees bent and our feet on the floor, and we feel our heels with our fingertips. That's a good way to measure your knees on top of your ankles, which is where we ultimately want to be. Pelvis is neutral, so sacrum should be flat here. What wants to happen? Your belly button off the flat of the sky. So pull your belly button in your spine and feel the back of your pelvis reach into the mat. Keep the legs charging up. Keep the belly firing up. So core. Head and shoulders are back. You can even robot your arms if you want a little more support, or they're by your side. When you're ready, lift the hips to bridge. Take the shoulders under a little bit deeper here. Some of you might want to interlace your fingers behind your back. Feel free. Keep the power in the legs. Don't lose the shutters, so keep pulling the shutters closed. Bottom of your ribs should be drawn to your spine. Now, as we push our feet gently forward, so we get a little more power in our legs, we feel the back bend deepening underneath the shoulder blades. The belly keeps working to the spine, the sit bones lengthen to the backs of the knees. We feel the low back filling in. One more breath. Now hold that as you slowly lower down. See if you get sacrum to land flat when you lower. Feet go wide, knees touch, hands to cactus or field goal. Now on the second one, I'll talk you in the wheel, but play wherever feels good to you. If it's supported bridge, awesome. If it's wheel, same awesome. Inhale, open the knees, reset the feet, bring the arms back along the sides. Starting from that neutral position, charge up the legs, charge up the core, head and shoulders back, slowly lift the hips, come the bridge. You're going to interlace your hands. If left pinky was under, right pinky this time. If you're going to work wheel, place your hands wide to the edges of your mat. Turn those hands out, which is going to make the elbows come in. We want them in line with the outsides of our shoulders. Then plug your shoulders back and push down to come up. One more breath. And then stay engaged as you lower down. Take the feet wide, let the knees touch. Hands to cactus or field goal. And then from here, just windshield wiper the knees side to side. Balance both sides out, come to neutral, hug those knees into your chest. A couple little small circles. Keep your right knee in, take your left leg out. Lower the back of your thigh to the floor. Take your left hand to the pinky toe side of your right foot. Kick your leg up to the sky. Start rolling towards your left hip. Keep your right shoulder rooted to the mat. If the right shoulder comes up, as that right leg works to the floor, breathe up out of the waist and then root back into that right shoulder. Keep the power in the legs here. So keep scissoring in. Then reach the legs out. One more breath. Bend the knee. Inhale, come back to center. Hug your left knee in, take your right leg out. Bring the back of the thigh to the floor. So you might have to lower your left foot to the floor, like move your knee away from your chest to get the root on that right side. Then the right hand to the pinky toe side of the left foot. Then you kick the leg to the sky. Here we're in the back of the leg. We're on the outside of that hip a little bit. Now you're going to roll towards that right hip. Trying your best to hold that left shoulder down. But sometimes it moves a little. So if that happens, you're going to breathe up out of the waist so the spine gets tall, and you're going to twist back into that left shoulder to root it down. And then remember, keep the legs firing so you're hugging in first, and then you're reaching out. One more breath. And then bend the knee. Inhale, come back to center. Take both legs out straight. Reach the arms up overhead. Spread the fingers, spread the toes. Big stretch. Hug those knees to your chest. Take those knees wide. Come to happy baby. You can reach one leg out, both legs out, whatever feels good to you. Rock side to side. But keep those knees wide, and then keep your knees drawing towards your ears so you get that opener not just on the inside of the thighs, but in the back of the hip. And then inhale the knees to center. Exhale the legs out straight. We'll take Shavasana. Beautiful practice, class. Feel free to do a variation if you like here. I'm going to talk everyone through laying flat in Shavasana, but whatever feels good to you. And here as we lay back, let the legs stretch out, the feet gently roll open. Allow the arms to come along the sides. As the shoulders settle back, the open palm turns to the sky. It draws in the energy. Right, today we talked about that soma. As the head rests back, maybe the eyes close. We let the tongue soften from the roof of the mouth. As the body gets heavy. As the body gets heavy, the mind softens, gets light, turns back to the breath. And your heart, it opens. It gets ready to move the practice from the mat to the yoga of life. The challenges that await us there. But just like on the mat, we take a breath,
we set a foundation, we engage, and we express the best that we can. Begin here to draw in a deeper breath. Feeling the breath washing over the body, your toes, your fingers, the crown of your head, through your heart, as we reawaken that better version of ourselves. As the fingers and the toes wiggle, maybe the arms and the legs begin to stretch or reach, move in a way that feels good to us. Taking our time, moving slowly. When you're ready, you can hug your knees to your chest and just roll to the right side. Feel your hands push down as you come up to a seated position. We'll meet together with our eyes closed and our hands in front of our hearts. One more time to seal in our practice, our time together, the sound of Om, all together. Deep breath in. We softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. For all of that hard work, that determination, that challenge, the love and the support you always give each other, it's to you that I bow. Namaste. Thanks, crew. Good to see everyone, home crew. You know, if you need me, grab me before you go. If not, maybe I'll see some of y'all tomorrow or Saturday. Thanks, crew. If not, I'll see you soon. So I wasn't sure. We need Marissa here. She's out on maternity leave right now. But when she's our resident moon person. So I don't know if it like starts, like was this the full moon this morning and then it goes all through the day? Or is it the moon? I don't know. I'm not sure. If anyone has that answer, feel free to chime in. Oh, I bet you saw that moon real nice today.
Larry, you were talking about a half moon earlier. I remember this distinct memory from second grade field trip to the planetarium. And I was one of those kids that would like answer all the questions, and so they would ask like, "What's this called?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a half moon." And I remember being so embarrassed because the guy heard me goes, "The only half moon is Henry Hudson's boat." And he's like, "A half moon is technically called a quarter moon," so I will never forget that.
A half moon is technically called a
And I
quarter
think and I'm not sure, I would need to check this, but I think it's because it takes a quarter of the cycle to get to that phase.
Okay.
But it looks like a half moon. I remember being so embarrassed in front of like all of my second grade class.
You know what's confusing? You got to remember that there's the new moon and the full moon,
Yeah.
right? And
That's why
like,
it's a quarter moon, because it's
Yeah.
it's twice a month.
because it's
half.
really
we
got to
go,
get
yeah.
back to it. Yeah.